We've all made dumb excuses to get out of work, Bill. What would you say is your number one, either most regretful or dumbest thing you came up with concept-wise, like call out of work?
Jesus, on the spot. I don't really know anything good. I probably have used a fake sick person in the family that wasn't sick, so that's pretty bad. I'm embarrassed by that.
Someone died? Did you ever do this?
No, nobody died. Never the die. I feel like that's too much.
Yeah, I once, a friend of our podcast, a member of someone we've talked about doing a couple things with, Matt too. I once said that his father wasn't feeling well and I had to leave. We had to leave a mountain. We were up at like a ski resort, which is like hours and hours away. And they were like, "Oh, you guys staying?" We're like, no. I'm like, "Sorry, my buddy's dad's isn't feeling so hot." Felt horrible. Like just a douche thing to do. Like you don't do that, especially when it wasn't even my family. I felt bad. He was so mad at me. He's like, "You couldn't have just said no. We want to leave." I was like, sorry, dude."
Yeah, that's kind of a George Costanza dick thing to do.
It was like, and I felt really bad about it. And I honestly, like, I was just caught. And it's not usually the type of person I am, but it's just like, I don't know. It struck me at that moment, and I was like, what else do I say? Yeah. Like his dad's sick.
I know one person, kind of friend of the podcast, once claimed, and this is horrible.
Do we say names or did they remain nameless?
And got like flowers sent to her for it.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Jesus. Bill, the reason I bring this up is because some crazy guy over in Arizona, which I don't know if they're crazy. There's a lot of crazy stuff, but he's a 19-year-old guy in Arizona, faked his own kidnapping, Bill, earlier this week just to get out of working.
Bravo.
So is
he not working from home? I assume he's not working from home.
He worked at a tire factory. There's photos of him. He tied his own hands together behind his back, jumped and rolled around in dirt, and was found on the side of a road.
That's like that's a felony. What's the highest thing? Is that a felony? Like that is.
Oh, he's in trouble.
That's like
he's in trouble.
Like the crime itself, and then faking a kidnapping. What a moron.
Yep, it says the police found him near a water tower with his hands tied behind his back and a bandana stuffed in his mouth. He told the cops he'd been kidnapped by two men in masks who knocked him out, drove him around, then dumped him by the water tower. The police investigated and they couldn't find any evidence of the said kidnapping. Surveillance videos didn't back up his story, and there were some inconsistencies in it too. So they ended up finding out this is a false report. And just in case anybody was wondering, think what you will about the people that are out there to protect us and the police. Say what you want on social media, but I will tell you this. You definitely don't want to F with them, and without a doubt, you don't want to fake anything, Bill.
You don't want to waste their time like that. That's just a giant time waste.
And all just to get out of working at a damn tire factory.
Well, if you talk to the average teenager of today and you ask them what it is about pop culture that they like, and the first thing they'll say is the beat.
Get yourself addicted.
Welcome into the Pop Culture Piledriver. Get addicted to the content. I am Jason Rossi. You can find me across all social media platforms at Jason D Rossi. In this wonderful little program here at Pop Culture PD on Twitter, please give a follow and it'll instantly make you warmer because we could really use some warmth all around the place, Bill.
I heard it was warm today. I did not leave my 20 square foot room today, or however big it is. It's actually kind of big, but
yeah, get outside.
I didn't even open the curtains today. I just woke up and went to work.
I'll be honest with you, those days are like my most depressed day. Like I like them, like especially if you're in the grind, but like then you realize at the end of the day, like probably right now, you're like, I never went outside. It's weird. I had 3 days straight of that. It kind of drove me crazy. And that voice you're hearing is my partner, in my tag team partner, should I say, in the podcast sphere. You can follow him across all social media platforms, including, I hope, his Tinder profile, Grindr profile, or whatever dating websites there are, at Billy D 2411. He is Billy D. What's going on, dude?
Hello. A lot of dating app talk tonight in the DSG chat, by the way.
Yeah, I was doing some mutual, thanks for the hookup, DraftKings stuff earlier, and my phone is just.
Oh, so you have I don't have notifications on for any app except like phone calls and text messages because it's just too much.
Oh, dude, this one?
Too much.
So I use the Peloton app. Yeah, big brag by me. I run on the treadmill, and it pops on all the time. So I do the mute for an hour. I usually do like 5 times a day, to be honest. And I feel bad because then afterwards I'm like, man, I probably could have contributed to the conversation, but then I just miss it. It's it's a two-edged sword, right? Like sometimes you're in there, and other times. No, two-edge. That's the 2021, Bill. We don't use that phrasing. If you are joining us, listen to us wherever you may find us. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, and please do leave a review. 5 stars would be absolutely appreciated. You can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, anywhere, any platform that a podcast is out there. Search Pop Culture Piledriver. It is 3 words. We are there. You can like and subscribe on YouTube. Look, search Pop Culture Piledriver. And we're a part of the Dork Shared Universe over on Facebook. We can see us live when we perform these podcasts. Yeah, that's right. I call it a performance. And you can just check out all the content from all of the other DSGers over there. It's Dork Shared Universe on Facebook. We get dem merch over on TeePublic. You just have to search pretty diligently, but it is tpublic.com/user/pop culture piledriver. And we have,
we'll tweet that link out.
Yeah, we will. But just in case, people really do like to just dig into it. 3 shirts there. The Rossi's Horrible Take. You have the I've Heard It Both Ways t-shirt, the Pop Culture Piledriver shirt as well. There is a sale going on for the next day. They are $13 if you're listening to us live or on, the week of February 23rd. And all the proceeds of those shirts currently are going towards Frank Says Hi, which is the nonprofit partner of this podcast that we are giving funds to people that are affected directly by cancer. And we worked with partner Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. There'll be some fundraising updates coming later next month. Also want to give a shout out to our music companion. Oh yeah. And Bill, where can you find those fine folks?
Anywhere you get your great music, but they are mostly on Spotify. Go give them a listen. They'll be dropping something in about late March.
And I'm probably going to be dropping something as soon as this podcast is over, but it's nothing that's going to be worth your time or anybody is really going to be wanting to see.
Oh yeah, I'll be out on my mind,
That's them. That's them. That's amazing. All right. Appreciate them for doing that. Bill, out of my mind, we always kick it off here with our WandaVision in short review. There is a new podcast. I believe it's like a viral video. You search, it's called WandaVision.
With spaces in between the words for the first part, and then in the second part, the WandaVision podcast. WandaVision is one word like it should be.
Okay. It looks like this just started last week. Did you create this, Goo?
Yeah. I mean,
cool.
Goo created it.
Yeah. You made the logo, I have a feeling, though.
Yes, I made the logo.
Looks real good. Real clean, Bill. Anyways, you can check out full recap of each and every single episode of WandaVision featuring various members of the DSG, whoever's available, because Mac's on strike. With that, Bill, episode 7, Breaking the Fourth Wall, happened this past Friday. Thoughts, concerns, worries, and love.
Liked it, loved it, really kind of dug it. It was unusual. Just a delight to watch. I think I am going to do the Wesley and wake up a little bit earlier and watch it right in the morning because I know a lot of the DSG, the Dork Boys were a little bit peeved about it too. It's tough to...
Wait, peeved about what?
The spoilers that were kind of leaking out. Not even spoilers.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
I am able to go dark on Twitter.
Same.
I will watch Celtics games 6 hours later because I can just shut off Twitter or I can really get avoiding like certain messages. So for me, it's not that bad, but I do like that whole day of having it because then if I have a minute, I might rewatch it. I think I watched that episode 3 or 4 times. Fantastic. The ending with Agnes. That was one of my favorite pieces of television because it's just so smart and it was just beautifully done.
It is now, if you were wondering, okay, Disney, MCU, how's this all working? She got a villain theme song. She got a villain theme song that has been stuck, as the kids would say, rent-free in the old dome. Because, Bill, I have been on loop. Me and Dan, my wife, we will sometimes just like, it's basically, I joke with it, they covered Fall Out Boy. I've been saying, man, they've been covering that Fall Out Boy song, which is actually the Munsters. It's a take on it.
So good.
It is perfect. The way the reveal came out, it makes you want to rewatch the episodes, which I'm going to get into a rant in a second, because it made me go, so basically it's, no spoilers, whatever. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Agnes has basically been behind the creation of the Hex. It seems there's more to come here with 2 more episodes, but I just was blown the F away with the reveal of that, how it came about. The episode had so many things going on with like, personality disorder, depression, just overall just like sadness. And then
the Modern Family nods, were
Office.
great.
Yeah.
Everything, yes.
It was a strong episode. I think they're all strong. And here's the take I will take away with this. I don't care what anybody says. I know I've seen Mac and Goo are talking a lot about it. The Dork Boys are talking about it. I think Changed My Mind, I'm assuming, is talking about it because they've been on said WandaVision podcast. But this show being week to week, this is the proof of why it works. If you were binging these, we wouldn't be having these moments. We wouldn't be having these conversations, and these things wouldn't be standing out. Now, the Agnes song, that's going to stand the test of time. That's up there with Ursula. But I'm telling you that these little nuancy things, the week-to-week viewer,
it's creating a buzz. It's
It's
creating a legitimate buzz. And I get Mac's take, like, why am I going to talk about it if I don't know yet and like it's just pointless to kind of ponder? I love that. I love that kind of stuff. I love playing the sleuth.
No, I don't understand. I understand if he
doesn't like fun. What can you do? But like, I am totally with you. It has created something that we haven't had in a long time, and it's that crazy buzz about a show. When Game of Thrones was on Mondays, when I would come back into work, we'd all gather around for like 25 minutes and talk about the episode. And I really haven't had something to do that with. The Mandalorian had a little bit of buzz, but this has this like. Next day, gotta talk. Not even next day. People are creating these reaction videos and the, WandaVision podcast that, the DSG has hours after.
I watch Screen Crush. So I have a bunch of people. I'm a big YouTuber. Got that premiere. I was going to say, I noticed our guy, Davey, we'll talk about in a minute. He's saying like, seeing ads on YouTube. I got to be like, dude, you got to pay up for a premium.
Yeah. If you don't have cable, especially get YouTube Premium. It's phenomenal.
I will say a friend of the podcast, Pachi, told me about it. He gave you his account, I believe, which is good for you to get something instead of me ripping off all your stuff. I tried to give you mine, but you didn't need it.
I already had.
I know. And so point being, though, he told me a while ago, and I watch so much YouTube, dude. Like I am such a content, like I'm always have noise around me. Today it's my own voice and yours, but it's funny how I watch so much YouTube. So this guy Screen Crush, if you will, that's who I go to right after because he has a nice Easter egg tie-in, and I didn't read the comics. I didn't know Wanda or Vision before all of this. So I love seeing all this stuff. What Agnes's background story really is, and will that tie into their will or not? Will they go their own direction? I love it. They give you all the little inside information. So, and there's a million other people doing it as well. But I love it. I cannot get enough of this show. Me and my wife, like I say, Friday, 10 p.m. I watch SmackDown. We get to WandaVision, then we go to bed, and love it. It's Friday nights. It's like TJF for me now. And
absolute delight. And Elizabeth Olsen just keeps getting better with every episode. And when she unfurled the blanket and she was still in her little Halloween costume, that was
good.
Yeah, that was
nice,
good.
Nice touch. No, do dig it. 2 more episodes to go. Really excited to see where we're gonna go with that one. Other stuff going on, Bill. Daft Punk, Dunzo, breakup, but not scandalous. Like known. They filmed an epilogue like 7 months ago. I don't know if you watched. Did you watch that epilogue? Did you see that?
I didn't, but somebody raised a great point that retiring after not putting out any music for 6 years is a bold move.
Ballsy, just ballsy. So they basically filmed when they filmed because a lot of their music videos, we don't know what these guys look like. They could be me and Billy for all you know.
Oh no, they're handsome little dudes. They look like friggin' like a Jonas brother or something. No, what's the other one there? You don't know.
One Direction.
Yeah, One Direction.
Well, they're older though. They
still kind of unless they're really old photos, they all kind of look like little British boy band guys.
Yeah, little British DJs. Anyways, so they filmed an epilogue. It was actually kind of sad watching it because it's like robots, especially watching Mandalorian and stuff like that. Basically, one of the guys takes off without the other one, and then he turns around to see where he is, goes back, guy undoes his thing. He basically explodes. He blows up. And that was the end. And it basically says love is in your heart. It was touching. Daft Punk probably, obviously we're going to talk about the year 2001 today. A big time for them, that early era, getting out of the Euro trash, weird time music of the 90s. They were a powerhouse in the late 90s, early 2000s. Then just club hits, the Kanye mix-ins, tag teaming with obviously Pharrell, good stuff throughout the 2010s. And they just decided to hang it up. Said no breakup, just no longer going to be creatively making music together.
Yeah, and our boy Wesley, formerly of the Boxers podcast,
what up, Wes?
Had their own retirement a while ago. He tweeted out something from someone about how they made the One More Time loop, and it's just one of the greatest samples of all time. I'll retweet that from the Pop Culture Piledriver during the show right now, because it's just so genius the way they sampled tiny little pieces of a song, reversed it to create one of the nicest sounding, what we call it, funk fusion type of songs there is.
Love it. Yeah, no, I dig. I was always I'm not a big fan of that genre of music, like house, techno, but there was something about Daft Punk all the time, always got me around the world. I posted a video on Instagram, my son dancing to it because he was going buck wild. This kid loves music, but anything with a beat, give him some beats per minute, he gets down. Bill, over in the world of wrestling, Mike the Miz Mizanin, WWE champion in 2021.
Okay, so did he already lose it?
Nope, still the champ.
Okay. All right, so I saw a bunch of pictures of Lashley holding it last night, and I've said Royal Rumble was good. This is also pushing me back. Roman Reigns is pushing me back. But The Miz, you know my love for The Miz. When he was the U.S. and Intercontinental Champion, I think he was the most must-see thing, and that's his thing. But he made those titles watchable. He is a top heel in the business and one of the best characters, I think, in the last probably 20 years of WWE.
Yeah, I do dig it. It's coming at a weird time. I feel like he hasn't been in this position, but as soon as he has it, like he's one of those guys. Like I tweeted about Daniel Bryan, who I'm a huge fan of, and he could be like just barely on TV. They put him in a position to be in a great spot on Sunday, and I believed, I was fully in. I want him to win the title. He's got that. The Miz has that the opposite way. He turns it on. He says things you don't want to hear him say, and he makes you hate him. And there's very few heels, especially in the modern era, that actually you want to slap and punch in the face. And he's one of the few. So I thought it was a great way to end the show. Gave some buzz to WWE. They didn't capitalize on it. Looks like rumors are he's going to be facing Bad Bunny in a tag team match at WrestleMania. We'll see what happens, but yes, he's still the champion as we are recording this podcast. It was still good. One other wrestling note, Bill, have you seen Young Rock? I
refuse to. Is it on yet?
Oh, no. Jesus. 5 million people watched Young Rock last week. I liked it.
Really?
I'm kind of a sucker for anything in that wrestling, but you have Jimmy Woo, our guy that's also in WandaVision in the show. Woo, woo, woo. You have The Rock. You have the Young Rock. It's a great, part placing storytelling. I don't know how great the show is going to be overall. The Rock kind of runs Hollywood, so he can do no wrong. But I feel like you would enjoy it. Just as it's a half-hour comedy, you can't go wrong. If you don't dig it, you move on. But I think it's worth a watch if you just want some satire-y fun. But that's my opinion. Not lastly, Bill, did you see that the Muppet Show have you watched it on Disney Plus yet?
No, but I'm going to. That was one of my favorite things as a kid. I like Keith. I'm a huge Ralph guy, and I love Sam the Eagle. And I believe my girl Madeline Kahn made a bunch of appearances on who doesn't love Waldorf and Statler? I will definitely be checking that out for show.
Well, here's the thing. There's it's deemed offensive on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I
can see that
because the way some of their language, the way they poke fun at each other, but I didn't offensive of the Muppet Show.
I mean, some of the things that they probably poke fun at, I'm sure, are not with the standards of today's pop cultural stuff.
No, it totally isn't. But I was surprised that Disney Plus would go as far as to put it as offensive. But yeah, so you can check it out again. That is on Disney Plus, as well as our show Lost. So that just finally got onto the old Disney Plus. Bill, before we get to our topic today, I wanted to end with some positive news. Every time I see positive news, I want to put it out there because we live in a world of negativity and hateration, which will tie into our countdown later, our discussion. So obviously there's been mayhem in Texas with all the weather. It's terrifying, really sad. Hopefully everyone's doing well. If they're hearing us anywhere in Texas, we obviously hope everything gets back up and running soon. But here's some good stuff. A grocery store near Austin lost power last week while people were trying to buy supplies. So you know what they did? Go ahead and take all that. Just leave. Free groceries.
I mean, that's kind of wonderful. I don't know if that would happen in these parts. I know people are a lot nicer in the South. I am actually going to Texas in the middle of March, so hopefully things are slightly better for work, obviously. And then, that's really kind. That's a nice thing to put there on the earth.
I thought it was great. And then also an Italian restaurant in Plano, Texas, handed out 500 free meals to people during the cold weather week about 2 weeks ago now. And for some, it was their first hot meal they've had in days.
God. Yeah, there's so many crazy stories of people tripping and freezing to death on their lawn, people being found before they freeze to death. So, I mean, I know there's a lot of places you can go out and donate. So,
please.
if you can, do.
And one last thing, we also know at the Super Bowl, there were 7,500 healthcare workers that were able to attend aside from some of the fans. There were 3 doctors ended up saving someone's life on their flight home from the Super Bowl. They were flying to LA when a woman on board had a medical emergency and couldn't breathe. So they got the pilot to make an emergency landing in Houston, they got home late, but they went straight to work. They got home late, saved her, and they went straight to work as soon as they landed in LA.
Good
Just
Lord.
amazing. So just think those people wouldn't have been on that plane if the Super Bowl. So basically the NFL, they get some credit in that, I guess, as well. So it's some good stuff. Something positive. Share with your friends at your next dinner party. All right, Bill. The year's 2001. Rewind the clock 20 years. We're going PCP Jukebox style. We're both going to nominate 2 songs at the end. It's based on the top 100 songs, U.S. charts for the year 2001, Bill. But before that, we got to do a little recap of the year. Here's some of the big news stories. Feel free to chime in on anything. Probably not the first 2. Obviously, September 11th tragedy, not 2001. Highly remembered for that.
Where were you? They also talked about this, I believe, on Dork this week. Where were you when it happened? Because I was. It was really strange. I was in high school. Obviously, I was in Mr. Arlene's sociology class, or was it just regular history class? I forget. But probably actually history class because 2001. So he said he got a call from his partner who he lived with. And it was really weird because he said a plane has just hit one of the towers. And in my mind, I didn't know what that meant until he wheeled in the old school TV on the thing. And we just sat and watched it. And I think we stayed in that class. They just had people stay in their classrooms for the rest of the day, pretty much, I think. Or maybe we moved after a few periods, but I just remember once I actually saw it, and I think we turned it on right after the second plane had hit. It was just one of the craziest experiences ever. And my dad wasn't flying that day, but my dad's probably been on a plane 3 times in his life, and that was one of them. And he was somewhere in America at the time, and he didn't get home for I think a while.
Yeah. That's nuts, dude. There's so many little stories. Obviously, the bigger, the tragedy side. For me, I was in homeroom, and a teacher by the name Mr. Van booted open a door. We had the connecting doors like a hotel. He booted open the door and said, "They hit the towers. We'll be in this brain forever. They hit the towers." And that's Then we went in, we watched, and that's a famous story where I worked at Chuck E. Cheese. No one was there, and a woman came with Middle Eastern garb on, for lack of a better term, or educated term, went to Catholic high school, and I was terrified and thought that there was going to be a terrorist attack at Chuck E. Cheese, because that's how scary everything was.
So this is how insane my mother is, just to give you a window into my life. I had to go to get a backpack. I needed a new backpack, and my friend was taking me to Target, and she said, "Are you sure you want to go to Target today?" And I was like, "Why?" Well, she said, "Because there's a target on it." Not lying. This was a literal conversation. My mother is insane.
But people were not. That day, it was, you don't know. There was nothing off board, though. Honestly, I don't even blame her. And you know where that target was, Bill? Right where Chuck E. Cheese was, where I was, sitting there, eating pizza, and a poor Middle Eastern family comes in just looking for an escape, and there's me trembling in my Chuck E. Cheese shorts, peeing down my leg. Also, Bill, right around that same time, the tragic death of Aaliyah in 2001.
Who my niece is named after.
Beautiful. iTunes, think about this. 20 years ago, iTunes and the iPod were released.
That's nuts. That
really feels crazy, like it was later.
Yeah, I mean, it's transformed everything. I listen to music all day now just because it's so easy.
Also, Wikipedia.com was launched.
Wow. 2001 was a hell of a year.
Sure was. Here's some of the popular TV shows of the year. Boston Public, CSI, Ed, Malcolm in the Middle, Survivor, The District, The Weakest Link, goodbye, Yes Dear, Absolutely Fabulous, which everybody's mom watched, The Simpsons, ER, and Friends. Those are the most searched topics. Here we go, Bill, some pop quiz for you. I don't know if you saw this. If you did, it's fine. I don't really care. Sports champions that year. Do you know your 4 major sports champions in the year 2001?
I think I glanced at it. It was Lakers, Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks won the World Series over the Yankees. The one time
Ravens.
I think the Ravens won the World Series, the Super Bowl.
I think they were the first team also to win it as a wild card. And then
could have been.
hockey, I don't know. Don't care.
Local ties.
Colorado Avalanche?
Colorado Avalanche.
Oh, boo. We had a parade that year.
Sure did. Very embarrassing. To tie it into modern day music, Billie Eilish was born in 2001.
Holy shit. Wow. That's fucking nuts.
And she was popular 2 years ago, as well as now. Bill, number one box office hit. Do you know what the number one movie of the 2001 was?
I didn't look at that. No, I have no idea.
Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh, holy shit. So that was the first one of those, too.
Is that the first movie?
I think so. I'll be really sad if I just messed that up.
Well, anyways, Bill, the music, the highest selling album of the year. I'm not even going to have you guess on this one because it would be too hard. It was won by the Beatles when they put out the collection of all their number one hits.
Yeah, it's like is the Eagles still the highest selling?
Yes.
All right.
Eagles' Greatest Hits is the highest selling album in the United States or worldwide in the history of albums, records, everything, CDs.
Don't really love the Eagles.
No. Great documentary, though, if you have 3.5 hours on your hands. The
They play
Grammys,
the Hotel California 3 times?
No, there's no music in it necessarily. But that also sounds like Friday the 13th when you're trying to find Jason in one of the cabins. Listen to that in Hotel California. You'll find it. Grammy for Record of the Year, that obviously for 2002, but for the year of 2001, Record of the Year was Walk On by U2.
Yeah.
Record of the Year is different from Song of the Year. Song of the Year was Fallen by Alicia Keys.
Deservingly so.
And the Album of the Year, I forgot about this, and now I remember this Grammys because I'm like, what the F? There's star-studded albums out in 2001. It went to Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, the soundtrack.
Oh, really? I thought it might have went to Shaggy. Did
Nope.
Shaggy win it the year before or the year after or something?
He never won a Grammy, but he was like the number one album for a stretch of time.
Okay.
He might have had other Grammys in there. Might have been like a hip-hop album or something, but those were like the big ones, the end of the show 3. Top 10 songs of 2001, then we'll start to break down our list with the top 100 songs we love. Number 10 was Independent Women by Destiny's Child. Number 9 was Lenny Kravitz, Again. Thank You by Dido. 7 was Let Me Blow Your Mind by Eve with Gwen Stefani. If You're Gone by Matchbox 20 at 6. Number 5 was I'm Real, Murder remix with Jennifer Lopez, Ja Rule. Number 4 was Drops of Jupiter, Tell Me, like Booker T, by Train. All For You at 3 by Janet Jackson. 2 was Fallen by Alicia Keys. And number 1, absolute smash jam. Love this song, Hang By a Moment by Lifehouse.
Was that the thing that you stole from your work and put it on my car one night?
You're goddamn right, Bill. Signed. That was signed by Lifehouse.
And you wanted it back, and I have no idea what happened to it.
I think I might have gotten it back, but I don't. Like, it's one of those things. So when I worked at 92.9, an rock station, we used to get there was all stuff that was throughout the hallways because bands used to send stuff. And then if they came in, they would sign it. So there was a couple that there was a Creed thing that I was like absolutely not even putting that out of there was a Human Clay album signed by them. Like, thank you. Vertical Horizon, Dido, there was random ones. But I remember the Lifehouse one and I had it and we were getting together. We were doing something and I left it on your car. And I don't know why I did that.
I do, because I told you that my high school girlfriend thought that was our song.
Oh, F her. First of all, what a jam. Like, if that's your you should have just dropped everything and just proposed then. Because if that's your song, what an absolute damn jam of a song. Lyrics don't really make all that much sense, but who cares? But yeah, I loved that song. But I will be honest, it was number 1. It's kind of like picking chalk, so I did not put it on my jukebox. But
it's also it's kind of a butt rocky song. It's not
don't
the
play
best
these
song
games.
ever. It's a fine song, but to be
good.
the number 1 song of a year, 2001, I think, is stronger in a lot of other areas. I think the top 10 is kind of sad, not from a standpoint of the quality of songs, but none of them are like poppy hits. Most of them are just kind of like ballads or really like low tone, like low BPM, just kind of
yeah, well,
I'll put this on if I'm in a sad mood.
Yeah, Bill, it's called real music. It was not. We transitioned into everything needs to be beats and hits after this. But like I'm Real by Jennifer Lopez. I know what you mean. It has that kind of mellow beat. The doom 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 doom. Yeah, If You're Gone, Let Me Blow Your Mind. Yeah, you're right. You have a good point there. Independent Women. There's no jam.
Well, Independent Women is still not one of their more upbeat songs. It's kind of a little more.
No, that's pretty upbeat. Like, I'm independent, throw your hands up.
I guess you're right. I'm also thinking, I'm getting confused with Survivor. They had a lot of songs in this era that were all kind of like the same.
Yeah, it's because they kind of all feel that way. But either way, good stuff by Destiny's Child. Big year. So obviously we took the Billboard Top 100, which you can search by going to just put in 2001 Top 100. You'll get the Wikipedia link that tells you all the 100 songs. Bill, we can kind of ping back and forth songs that kind of jumped out to you on the list.
So for me, I had a ton of it. I had to rein back what I usually would do for this list because there was so many that I liked.
Just quick time out behind the scenes. We used to say, all right, we'll just do 11. And what I joke is like in the beginning, Bill would put like 25 songs. I'm like, do you want to just run down all 100? Like, but either way, go with.
All right, so I'll go in a little bit of reverse order. Fuck it. We'll go to the top to the bottom, from the window to the wall. Fallen by Alicia Keys. This, I think, it probably didn't spend enough time. That's why it's not number one. But this song was one hell of a way to kind of introduce yourself to the scene of music. And I think this was her first real big hit, right? And this was kind of like a Adele explosion of this girl has got one of the strongest voices ever, and she's a really talented musician. Not to mention, she's stunningly beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is also the height of like looks in music as well. Obviously, this is a big year for Jennifer Lopez. I just have to give a shout out to our guy, the wonderful, am I saying this right? Quizzle of Oz. I just love this. It's Hanging by a Moment used to play in the jukebox at Papagino's so much when I worked there.
I agree. My sister worked there. It was always on.
Just dig it. Appreciate the love from anybody tuning into us live. Again, you can peep the podcast over at Pop Culture Piledriver. But anyways, that's a big hit there for me. The way I looked at this list, Bill, me and my wife were kind of re-glancing at it during dinner. I kind of went like out of the top 100, what songs in like each 10 kind of stood out to me. And for the bottom 10 from 100 to 90, it's Enrique Iglesias' Hero. And I'll be honest, it's the music video. It's a Jennifer Lewis. Absolute inner prime, but the song itself is great. I was fighting between that and Hemorrhage by Fuel because I'm a huge Fuel fan. Those are just two great songs. And I have to just make a mention of Outkast, So Fresh, So Clean as well. Come on.
I mean, Outkast, So Fresh, So Clean. We're going to be talking Outkast next week as our first discography. That video as well for So Fresh and So Clean. I mean, all of their videos are just so creative and out there, but that one, a lot of great dance moves. I love that whole album. That's one of my favorite albums of all time. So that was also on my list. Next up for me is Thank You by Dido. Just because it's a good song. It's more famous now for what Eminem did with it. Mm-hmm. And, we've created the term stan off of that song as well. But at the time, this was obviously, number 3 overall, number 4 overall. This was a jam.
Top 10. No, it was an absolute smash hit. It was huge. You have to remember, this is a time where this is like coming off the 90s where this would have been even she would have been like Lilith Fair style artist. We would have been talking about her lineage forever, where she kind of fell into this weird, awkward category of like pop music was taking off. But again, quality artist, good song. She had 2 hits there in the 2001 time, 2 on this list as well. Next up, this was a tough one. Again, I'm going from 89 to 80. I was looking through what songs really jump off. This is kind of a stinky bunch, but I guess I got to go with the 2 that stand out to me here is I Want to Be Bad by Willa Ford.
Oh.
What You Want. Again, a music video that turned a boy into, a little bit more of a teenager. And then also Trick Daddy, I'm a Thug. Like when I was a kid, these are songs I remember playing video games or like messing around with buddies in the backyard, in the pool, listening to on loop.
So this was the era I think I was playing like Twisted Metal, Driver, to all of these kind of songs, Mario Kart 64, retro gaming at an early age. But those were some definite ones I banged out to. And what is it? Willa Ford, I Want to Be Bad. I want to make that the anthem for the Patriots next year and just tank because that's the perfect song for a tanking team. I Want to Be Bad. Make me feel so good.
You should have done that for the Red Sox last year.
The Red Sox just suck.
Well, what's that song then? Just suck. Anyways, no.
I'm a Loser, Baby by Beck. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good one. There you go. Those 2 songs jump out to me in that one because those are also just songs that I vehemently remember listening to way too much and like burning CDs with those songs on there because I have rules and we've talked about it here. Like you can't have a burned CD that has two songs by an artist on it. Like when we do all our playlists, like you can't have 2 songs by an artist. It's blasphemy.
Well, if you're making a mix, it's tough. Yeah,
you can't. No, you just can't. It's a rule. I think that's one of the unwritten rules. Or if you're gonna do it, they have to be like the first and like the second to last, and there has to be maybe it's a feature. But I just remember making CDs.
I think you can do it if you're a good enough DJ. You know how to flip it up. I'm gonna do a 2-for-1 like you. Get 2 out of the way here at once. I remember when this song came out because my sister loved it. Hit 'em up style. Oops, Blue Cantrell.
Oh my God, what a jam!
It was a really good song. I still
excellent.
bump it to this day when it comes on. Another one that I loved was It Wasn't Me by Shaggy. This whole album was pretty good. He had a bunch of good songs on this album. Dance and Shout and Angel are a couple of my favorites as well. But this one had the Super Bowl commercial, which I kind of hated. Didn't love it.
I like it.
But it's such a ridiculous song because at the end of the song, the guy who's getting the advice the whole time even says, like, this is the worst advice I've ever gotten. This isn't going to work.
It's a contradictory story. The story's ridiculous. You're caught red-handed doing whatever it is you're doing.
Hanging on the bathroom floor.
And it wasn't me. Hello, I see you. That's like me walking in on you, Bill, right now, doing the nasty with whoever. And I'm just like, hey, Bill. And you just go like, oh, it wasn't me. Like while doing it.
I do love the way Shaggy just shrugs it off and go, say it wasn't you.
Yeah. It's literally like deny until somebody just
it's one of the dumbest songs that has like risen that far. I mean, it's just a completely ridiculous premise, and the song, like the premise is like the fucking whole song.
Yeah, I absolutely, it's ridiculous, but a good tune, memorable tune, and like you said, now it has nostalgia where it's back in Super Bowl commercials with Ashton Kutcher singing for some reason. I think that's the part that kind of sucks about it. All right, up next for me, this could be a twofer. I have to remember your song so I don't say anything. Oh, here's one for you. Ludacris, Southern Hospitality.
Oh, throw them bows.
Dude, this was the song I used to play. I want to say it was NWO, WCW Revenge coming after high school football practice. And just that beat, that boom, boom, boom. It's so memorable. Great. Ludacris, what a career he has had as well. And this kind of kicked it all off. So that song to me, it doesn't remind me of 2001, just reminds me of early 2000s.
Yes.
Just absolutely smokes that song. I think that's the only one I want to mention.
So the only time I ever went to the Palace in Saugus, I went with a couple of kids who were doing some funny things. And we were in like the techno room.
Doing the wacky tobacco?
They were, it was worse than that. It was stuff you would swallow. So we went into
16 years old.
Yeah, no, I was a little bit older, but you had to be under that age to get it. You had to be under 18 to get in there anyways. And he went into the techno room, and he was an idiot. And he kept, well, his name is also Sperm, his nickname.
Oh, Sperm. I know him.
He kept requesting in the techno room Southern Hospitality. And I think most people know it as Throw Them Bows. I think this is one of those songs that kind of is never recognized by its actual name. But I vividly remember playing this entire CD on loop to video games.
Dig it. No, it's great stuff.
Yeah, our guy Quizzle points out this is an amazing CD top to bottom. I believe this has Use a Hoe.
Yeah, it also has Fantasy.
Oh, wait, I think that might have been I don't know if this is it the same album? Okay.
There's very little doubt in my mind. I oddly have a weird nostalgia feel for our guy Ludacris.
All right. I think you have one more, right?
I'll jump in because I only had one for that one, but I will as I move up our rankings. Irresistible by Jessica Simpson, just music video. Again, just what are we doing here? Like Jessica Simpson in 2001. God damn it, Bill. God damn. Watch that Irresistible video. Just stop it, Jessica. You were doing things. Things were happening when they shouldn't have been happening, and
she's the hottest, I believe, in that era. I do like her in the Dukes of Hazzard video as well. I was never more.
Well, that was they knew what they were doing.
Senseless.
This was more like highlighting body features in a way that was like classy-ish with midriff and stuff. But it was just
prime Jessica Simpson. She competed with another girl on this list for my desktop background for a while. Maya was mine for a long time. I love Maya, and Case of the X is another song in this era. It's on my list. Well, it was on my list. I took it off for something, but prime Jessica Simpson. This was prime Jessica Simpson. Very jealous of Nick Lachey. So another one of my favorite songs. I gave this real consideration because who didn't love Mystical back in the day? And Joe with the remix of Stutter. This song absolutely slapped back in the day. I love this one. And 2001, huge year for Nelly, both Furtado and the Saint Lunatic. Ride With Me, I think a lot of people would probably think this would go on mine for the vault song. I think it's a little too chalky to go for the PCP vault. We do things a little bit differently. It's not the super obvious ones always. It really has to hit home for us. But who doesn't like Ride With Me by Nelly? It's one of his probably most popularized songs. It's in a lot of, commercial spots. It's been in movies. So I'm a huge fan of Nelly. That whole album is one of the, I think it's probably the best debut rap album that's not that doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah, because it's also like he didn't turn into like overly serious either, like as an artist, which I think is fine. And I thought, overall, it's a pretty banging album.
The whole thing is phenomenal. Batter Up. Obviously his big one was that's a great song. Welcome, like you basically do the intro.
Yeah, that's my inspiration. Nelly, Batter Up. Who would have thunk? For me, Bill, the year can't go without mention with a song like this, only because everybody knows that you're mostly making fun of it. If you ever get a massage, it's playing somewhere, and not one of those funky ones. Only Time by Enya. Like, Enya's another one of those artists. If you told me the song came out in 1986, you could have told me this is 1986, 2014. 1991, it is timeless. It is one of the oddest songs of all time just for its placement in 2001. Enya, Only Time. I will also add in, let me see what other songs. I don't want to mention that one. It stinks. Jaded by Aerosmith is a trash song. Sorry, don't like it.
I like this era Aerosmith.
Oh, God, it's just so like Pink. You like Pink?
I like Aerosmith? Pink, yeah.
Oh, God.
I do. It's a terrible song, but I like Poppy
songs. It's so bad. These songs were just like, Jaded. Just
what's the line that's like red but not quite?
Yeah, it's just bad. When It's Over, Sugar Ray, big Sugar Ray guy. Again, another song that just love this one.
Quick Sugar Ray story. So my best friend, Anthony, he in high school, we traded CDs. I wanted to borrow his Disturbed CD, and he wanted to borrow this Sugar Ray CD, and we both swapped, and we never gave him back because we both liked the other CD better.
It's like a wife swap. I don't know what that show was about, but I think at the end somebody could keep one. I don't know. Just with that,
I don't think that's how that worked at all.
I've been hoping. I've been signing up for the show. I don't know what's going on. I must mention though, my famous Sugar Ray story. Me and a friend of the podcast, Matt, too, went to go see them. They asked so they're on stage and they shout like, "Oh, what songs you guys want us to play?" And he shouted out a song and he literally, Mark McGrath goes, "Oh man, I don't remember that one." It's your own music. You created it. So he kind of phonied his way through like 3 bars. Like they played and he's like, "I'll be honest, guys, I don't remember." I was like, what the hell? How do you forget?
He's too busy hosting Extra.
But like, it blew my mind. Like a guy like Rivers Cuomo, who I got to interview once, and he's talking. I'm dropping names over here. Look at me. But he blew my mind.
I heard you worked in radio.
Once or twice. He blew my mind how much he remembered about his music, because I'm a big fan of some of the earlier stuff. Long story short, it's like I'm talking to one guy who like analyzes and knows everything, and then Sugar Ray's on stage playing a concert. Like, crap, man, I don't remember. It's like, you've only had 3 albums. What the hell's going on?
Yeah, well, When It's Over, sometimes.
By the way, if you Answer the Phone is the best jam by them. Not this year, unfortunately. All right, Bill, what other ones you got here?
So for me, Sorry, Miss Jackson. Woo, yeah. I am for real. This is, again, Outkast. We're going to talk about them a lot next week, so I'll save my thoughts mostly on this. But this is a song that everybody can kind of relate to on either side of a relationship. It just doesn't have to be about a baby's mama. They go back and forth about, what it's like to have drama with your ex. And speaking of no more drama, we have Mary J. Blige, Family Affair. Let's get it percolating. I think more people might know it by. This is that Dre beat that was phenomenal. This was really also close to being my vault song.
Same.
Because I think it's one of the better beats of that era. And Mary J. Blige, she can sing like nobody's business. And just a phenomenal pop star in her day. This is kind of a little bit after the Mary J. Blige era too.
Oh, she was like late 80s. Like she started there and throughout the early 90s.
So this was kind of a little bit of a reintroduction for both her and a little bit of Dre too. So phenomenal beat. And one time I saw the band Morningwood cover this song.
Yes, we were there. I was with you.
You were with me? Oh, I always forget. Like, because anytime I saw shows at that little club, it was either you or Zach.
Access. Yeah, we saw them in Access with Big Joe, and we tried to get Big Joe to go on stage.
And that girl was hot.
She knew what she was. She was band sexy.
She was kind of my girl hot too.
Yeah, a little thick, big mouth, short. Line them up, ladies. That's what Bill's looking for. You're too tall. You're too thin. How's the bum doing? Because if it ain't big, he ain't calling.
It's true. And I think that was my 2 in a row. If you got any more.
Yeah. You know what? Let's empty the tanks and we can put our nominations in. I'm just going to tell you a bunch here that I think. First of all, I thought for sure Miss Jackson was going to be on your list. I thought it was going to be your vault. So I held off on it. I didn't even mention it, but yeah, great song. So Dream, He Loves You Not. Only have to mention it because it's one of the most ridiculous songs because it was the P. Diddy, making a band that went nowhere, but a good jam. You mentioned Family Affair. Absolutely love that. Leanne Womack, I Hope You Dance. Just everybody like graduation songs, film like our era, like people that are in their mid 30s, late 30s. That was definitely like their high school like collaboration slideshow songs. Lady Marmalade, Christina Aguilera, Kim, Maya,
Itchy, yeah.
City High, What Would You Do? This close to making my list.
Ooh, honestly, that is one of the better songs, especially when like the beat drops. What
would you do?
Such another ridiculous premise for a song. Like, what would you do if your son was at home crying along on the bedroom floor because he's hungry?
I'd be
love that song.
I'd be an absolute whore like she was, and I understand it because guess what? You guts to do what you guts to do. That song's a great story. It's probably the best story song of the year. Every year has a story song. Last few I will mention. There was one other one. Why is it not here? Why am I not? 112 Peaches and Cream. Just always digged 112. Uncle Cracker, Follow Me, and Usher, You Remind Me. Good jams. Just varied. That's like you would hear that on Magic right now. That's like your 3-pack right there. Maybe not Peaches and Cream, but
fantastic picks. I will go with one that hits home for me sometimes. 1 Minute Man by Missy Elliott, featuring, of course, Ludacris. I think we've all been there.
That on here? I didn't even see that.
Yeah, that's way down the list. Sometimes I go way down the list.
Good. That's
and I Just Want to Love You by Jay-Z. This was a classic Jay-Z song. I know that Wes is probably going to be mad that this didn't make my vault. I kind of considered it for a second because it's a very, very good Jay-Z song, kind of that era. Really, really fun. But now we can go to the vault nominations. I don't know if you want to start.
All right, I will start because it is a chalk. It was one of the top 10. It is, like I said, Lifehouse would have been there. I tried to vary it up. That's why City High was really close for me. But for me, Drops of Jupiter by Train. It is a song that that is like my Buttercup to You. Like I sing this at karaoke. By the way, there's a new commercial with that. I've been meaning to try to find the link to send it to you because it's literally like what happened. But side note, we'll get to all that another time. But yeah, I will just say that Drops of Jupiter is one of the most well-told stories of a relationship, someone that, when you're on a quote break, the reasons for those breaks, what you're trying to discover yourself while not being around somebody because you find your identity just to be around them. Excellent song by Train, well written, well executed, has the ballad feel, has the big band feel. To this day, when that song comes on, I turn it up and I just belt it out because I could give 2 craps about anybody judging me on it. So first nomination to go into the 2001 vault, Drops of Jupiter, Train.
Definitely not mine. Wouldn't even come close to making any part of my list, but that's why we have you, Rossi. That's why we have you. So for me, we're going with one Nelly song. He's featured in this one, but it's Jagged Edge, Where the Party At. This is just the way it starts. Jagged Edge has a couple of hits. At one point we produced a rap record between my friends to a lot of the beats.
Let's share that with the public.
No, please don't. No, you can't.
I don't have it.
No, never do that. But
let me tell them the band name.
No, don't do that either.
What else can we do? Whoa!
No, please. Actually, I shouldn't. We should edit that out of the podcast.
No.
And YouTube as well. But I would say that this is just a classic song. When you hear Jagged Edge, Where the Party At, and then Nelly just comes in. I think he comes in a parachute in the video too. Yes, and this is the era where videos were really popular. And in 2001, heading into school, I based my first day of school outfit off of what Nelly was wearing in this video. It was the white polo shirt with the little black polo guy and a black shirt underneath. I wanted to be Nelly so bad, and it was kind of pathetic.
It's unbelievable. All right, so good tune there, by the way, just absolute party jam. And this is where I had City High was close, Family Affair was close. There was another one I was thinking about. There was a Jennifer Lopez song, but I said this song really is, I think, the jam of 2001. Everybody knows it. Everyone plays it. Everyone sings along. And I wanted to vary up my genres a little bit. So I got Drops of Jupiter by Train, Dat Jam, and then Get Your Freak On by Missy Elliott.
Like, I didn't love Missy Elliott in this era.
But that song is just, it's bigger than her. It is bigger than the year. It is an all-timer. Like, to this day, you could hear that, and you know the vibe, you get the feel, that ridiculous beat, everything about this song, I just think is excellent. It stands out to me for 2001, and a very action-packed, varied up year. Without knowing your nominations, I could have varied up a little bit more, but I do dig it. So Missy Elliott, Get Your Freak On.
For me, this one doesn't hit home as much. I don't love this song like that. I hear it. I won't change it. But for me, when she did the Serve Flippin' Nippin' Nippin' Knackin', I didn't like that song. That song grew on me. And that to me is like my kind of Missy that I like a little bit better. I do like, the 1 Minute Man, because that's a little bit more of my jam. This one's a little bit too, I don't like that beat. So I'm going to go same genre, same guy as my other one. I think this is the first time we're going to have a double person on the ballot, but it has to be. This is one of my all-time favorite songs. Probably would make a top 11. Holy EI. This song absolutely just, it's a whammer. It's an all-time whammer. And every time I get a new car, and I've had too many in my life, this is the first song I blare.
I thought for sure, when you said how much you love Nelly, I thought for sure it would be Ride With Me in this position.
I think everybody did.
Because it's the better, bigger song. I love EI and all. I just have the like that opening. Yeah, it's so good. So dumb, but great.
I think this is a way better song than Ride With Me for a rap song. Ride With Me is just a catchy pop song.
Yeah, well, whatever. That's fine. I just think at the end of the day, this is like a forgotten. People don't even recognize this song in the.
I would totally disagree, and I think this has a decent chance to win the poll.
Well, I think winning a poll is fine, but I just think overall it doesn't have the lineage when you think of the Nelly music. No one's going, EI. Like, it's not like a top 5 to people, I think. When it comes
I think it would be for most Nelly fans. I think they would put this in their top 5.
So my quick story with EI. So I was interviewing for Chuck E. Cheese around this time. It was right summer of 2001. And they said, okay, you have to tell me a joke as part of the interview. In a trailer, by the way, with an older man, just me. Very strange. The place wasn't open yet. It was still being under construction. And they asked me, tell me a joke. So I'll tell me, I'm like, crap, like, I'm so funny. I said, Nelly, he's not definitely, he has an album called Country Grammar, but he has a song that's called EI. And shouldn't he know that I comes before E?
Oh. Got
the job, Bill. Got the job. But it was only me and him, and I just said, well, I'd probably just be, tomatoes thrown at me. I was wearing shell-toe shoes, pimpled face. I was uncomfortable as hell. But that was my joke. Nailed it. Showroom employee at Chuck E. Cheese.
That is a cringeworthy story.
Nailed it.
Was that your first job?
On the books, yes. I painted with my dad and did like odds and ends jobs for other people, but never like where my taxes first started. Chuck E. Cheese, baby. But that joke, nailed it. So your 4 PCP nominated for 2001 Jukebox nominees are Where the Party At, Jagged Edge featuring Nelly, Nelly's EI, Drops of Jupiter by Train, and Get Your Freak On by Missy, Misdemeanor, Elliott. I think we did good here. This was a lot of fun. It was a good year to kind of reflect on.
At the beginning, when I started scrolling through the list, didn't like it because it was like the top 10. Top 10 didn't do it for me. And then as I got further down the list, I was like, okay, this year kind of slams. And I usually type in Billboard 2001 on Spotify, and Spotify's list kind of messes it up because they don't have a lot of the right versions. Like they have the original version of Stutter and the original version of I'm Real, which are terrible songs. So if you listen to those, it's a much different, even like top of the list. So a lot of good songs. And then once like it got to like the 60s where all the rap was that I really liked back in the day. So I think we do need to do another type of thing, and it'll give us more content to do. And we're just brainstorming on air right now.
Love it.
Maybe we do like a certain genre, like a 5-year period, and pick the best stuff for like rap in 2000 to 2000.
No, we can go right back to 2001. I could give 2 craps. All the content in the world.
Yeah.
Screw everybody. They love it. They dig it.
This week in Shared Universe.
So last week, it was panned, I think, as one of the worst weeks in the Door Shared Universe. We got a lot of heat for doing the Joseph Gordon-Levitt podcast.
Where did you
everyone?
Get heat? Who gave us heat?
I think Mac and Goo was like, we're the first people to ever do one. They also spoofed what we were wearing from the episode, which was kind of hilarious.
Yeah, that was fine. That was cool. I'm into that. I'll take my top off if they want. But we were judged off of doing it?
Yeah, he's one of them said it's the first time anyone's ever done something about Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I actually, when you pitched it as an idea, I thought it was a fun.
Wait. I love saying that, but no. I'm confused. So I
don't know if he necessarily said it as a bad thing, but it came off. His tone came off as a bad thing.
We're judging each other's topics now?
Of course we are. They did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then fucking Changed My Mind did Van Helsing.
I don't judge any of it. Do your thing. That's your podcast. It's your
all I do is judge stuff. That's why that's how I live my life.
It's a dirty place to live. It's a dirty place.
It's horrible.
Wait, but who else got judged? Oh, because of the other topics. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
so
there was a couple of tweets. I guess you do turn off Twitter for too long. There was a couple of tweets going around about the content in the. Yeah, a ton of tweets.
It must have been in the back end. I see the tweets. People were just congratulating us, saying how good we did.
I really think we did a hell of a job. But as for this week in the DSG, Dork did a Q&A. No Rossi's horrible take this week, but I'm sure they'll find one from this one.
Nope, there is nothing horrible about what I said. It was all a gimmick. I have cleared my name. People are defending me. People believe, and I believe in people. And I love the Q&A with Dork, by the way.
Yeah, it was great. A lot of good stuff to come out of that one. A lot of fun. I'm wondering if the first question was from our buddy Kevin that they answered.
No, it was some Mark. I think it was Mark who, because I think they mentioned it.
All right. So then we got Mac and Goo doing the 1989's classic Alien, which is actually kind of true this week. They talked about it a little for real. And then Change My Mind did Age of Ultron with Dr. Joe. I think I'm a week behind on Change My Mind, so I got to catch up there. TLDR talked books. I've heard it both ways. The Psych Rewatch podcast. We are doing the penultimate episode, Poker, I Hardly Know Her. That's a great one. I've got WandaVision, a WandaVision podcast. They did episode 7. They'll be doing episode 8 this week. And our Twitchers, they be twitching Shine Time, Arvon D, and Dr. Joe. Me and Dr. Joe actually might tangle in about an hour, half hour, depending on how schedules go in our Madden League.
Oh, yeah, please stream away. Get it up there. Get it up there, kiddos. But yeah, that'll do it. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Next week, we're going to be back with the first Portrait of an Artist. We're going to kind of do a run through of the discography of Outkast. We'll also be talking a little bit about our 190s Black March Madness. We don't have some coined phrase, March pop culture-ness, whatever. Who gives a damn? It's going to be fun. You're a music head. You'll enjoy it. Get judged. Yell at us. Have some fun with it. We'll be putting out that starting early or mid to next week because I want it to actually line up to it goes to the end of the month. Last year, I noticed it stopped a little early. But yeah, we're going to have some fun with all this. So please do. If you listen to any Outkast music, we're going to be talking all about them next week. Obviously, we'll do our little recap of WandaVision and some other fun stuff. Bill, any fine words you want to tell these wonderful people who tuned into the pod this week?
Yeah, I want people to brainstorm a good name for the PCP bracket thing, whether it's Angel Dust Madness or...
There it is. There it is. PCP bracket thing.
That could work. I kind of like that.
Listen, that's how we stumbled upon them office people. Then those office people got furloughed. Or got jobs, actually. But with that being said, Bill, I like it. Yeah, if you have any thoughts, slide into at Billy D 2411, at Jason D Rossi, at Pop Culture PD. Let us know. Give us a follow. Appreciate each and every single one of you. Be well. Stay hydrated. Say something positive about somebody else. We'll catch you all next week. Frank says hi.